Hello, this is a Foxxy game that white won very comfortable by 20 points and a half. And at the end, when black takes away the last neutral point, white doesn't have to defend inside. There is no snapback threat. So let's say white passes. If black pushes like this, which is Atari, white will just capture. Nothing happens. And if black plays inside Atari at L12, this is just a code red. So white will take. That's a 2-move sequence to read. So at one down level, it should be easy to check those moves. But well, sometimes these games are played very late, so no wonder the white wants to be safe, and better safe than sorry. Anyway, this felt like it could be a much bigger win for white at some point. So black starts with the moves on the left side, which is a little bit unusual. Usually those two moves are played on the right side for black. Now Kakari countered by another Kakari. This shows some fighting spirit. White wants to fight here. Usually white just defends with this kind of move, and when black plays a 2-space jump for a base, white continues with an attack in the lower side. But black can also take the Shimari, e3, f3, and in this case, white loses the opportunity to attack. So it's a fine idea to go for the Kakari right away. However, it's black's turn, so black doesn't always have to react locally, which means black can put pressure at p4 right away to try to dominate the Fuseki. So this way, black exchanges 2 times in center, and then he comes back and protects the corner. This can happen. Probably white will push like this. Because if white finishes the Joseki this way, black can push along and then extend on the side. But this leads to a totally different game. So black keeps the corner, hanging connection, that's fine. Black plays high here instead of the usual c6, but it's not necessary towards his advantage, because playing high here leaves the approach at c8, which is combined with a cut at c5, so that's the Aji on the left side. And now white still finishes the Joseki with l3. So in this case, white can consider a move to prevent being pressed down, and it doesn't have to be p4, it can be o4 or it can be n4, which is also in a way kind of connected to g4. So it finishes the Joseki, but in the same time it combines both the low right corner with the low left corner. So I would play something like o4, n4, or just the tight move, the Kosumi, to prevent being pressed down. Because once you finish up the Joseki with this move, black can still put pressure at p4. And for example, if something like this happens, it feels that white stones are somewhat ineffective or a little bit too low. And it looks like this L3, it's an extra stone in the bottom formation, even though it was okay. If you just think about it locally, so you just take in consideration what happened in this area without forgetting or trying to combine what happens in the lower right corner, it's absolutely fine. But at some point, or especially when you become a down player and you start ranking up to high down level, you try to give more meaning to your stones. So a move like this, even if it's the best local Joseki move, can be less effective than a move like this, for example, or like this, because now you take in consideration the whole board position, not just the local fight in the lower left. So it's good to think about this in the future. So black attacks in the corner instead of putting pressure, in which case white can just play Hane R2. This is the most natural move. Now if black goes Q4, you pull back, then black usually will go down S3 to prevent the Atari, because if he plays other moves like this, for example, you will Atari right away, and then the shape is bad. Then pull back. So when black goes down, now you turn, then you Hane again to lean a little bit on black stones, and now this makes the extension on the bottom side shine, because it's the right distance both from the left and the right configuration. I mean, it serves as a Joseki move to finish up and settle the bottom position, and also is the right distance from the wall on the right. So this is in the right spot. Therefore, if this happens, white is setting up the Moe in center, and now I can play a move like R13, for example, to prevent black becoming too large on the right side. But of course for white it's very big right now to play the top left corner. So white push here instead, This gives black a very comfortable corner, and normally after this kind of push, you gotta follow up with a keima. So that's why it's more interesting to play the hane. If against this hane, black simply goes down, then you play the nobi and it's already a gain, because black will either push here or turn, but in this case, white's moyo becomes larger and black is a little bit lower on the side. So just push, it's maybe slightly less than going hane here. But okay, still okay as an idea for white to set up the moyo on the bottom in center and then take a big point on the left. Now we have a basic joseki, it's okay, extend and extend for a base, that's fine. Actually white can think about going all the way, but in this case black will probably just kick to protect against the cut in center, and if white comes up he will take away the extension. So it's fine to finish up the joseki with a 3-space jump, and the next time white hits center, so let's say we have this in place. Now approach at c8. Pincer, that's an option too, it's fine. So jump, defend the corner. AI likes to defend with a 2-space jump. I keep seeing this recently, but the basic defense it's 017 or 1-space jump 016. But it's good to think about this move in the future. It seems to be a bit more flexible for white. Anyway, this is fine. Then black will put pressure with a shoulder hit. White jumps. The jump is a little bit questionable. Usually white can push, turn, push again, and now jump. It's much safer like this to fix the base. If black keeps pushing, it's not a big problem. White is already alive, and later on white will use the wedge and cut. But this wedge and cut can wait. Anyway, what happens in this joseki is that white takes the territory on the side and black goes for some outside thickness. So let's go back. Of course, white can think about this cut and makes things more complicated. But this kind of jump, black should push right away and then either pull back at q12 or sacrifice a stone like s10 for example, then cut and capture the other stone. So white needs another move to fix his base. Black will turn here. This will threaten the bottom stones. Also push. White might double up against the push and cut. And then black can play other moves. This is big. Jump in the corner, attack from the top. It's actually a very balanced game. So black should actually push and cut or push and turn. Because if this happens, white doesn't get a Ponuki, so white needs to connect like this. If white connects on the outside and black captures this stone, white still needs to extend for a base. And the formation on the right side is a little bit more painful than the actual joseki. So the actual joseki is push, turn, push again. It's important to push one more time before you jump, because if you jump right away, black can push and cut on the outside, then sacrifice a stone in order to catch the 3 stones. That's why the joseki is to push one more time, to expand the liberties and now jump. So push and cut doesn't work for black anymore. This is a pretty basic pattern. Good to remember that. Black push from behind. So this starts to look good for white. The shape is a little bit loose for black. Turn. Instead of jump, white should push here to create some cutting points and then wedge. Now with this wedge, this is actually bait. If black plays Atari down or up, white will just sacrifice a stone and catch the other 2. Because it settles the group, becomes very thick and makes black stones float a little bit in the center. So white jumps out. Black can actually go back and protect. This is a very proper move. If white pushes here, black covers, so this is a very thick formation. Then think about the push and cut around here. If white hane like this, black can no be in the corner, and that hurts the corner too. So white needs to play to protect the corner. Black goes down. White needs another move to protect against the cut. Black will come out here. So overall, black got very thick and center too. But black jumps, and this is a little bit loose. So white found a way to cut. Actually here, black can play like this, or attach and clamp, in order to connect in an indirect way. Then cover like this. So white doesn't get to separate, then white still needs to worry about the cutting points. This starts to look good for white. So black lost a stone on the right side, quite an important stone with a lot of territory, and his wall is not that impressive after all. So on this kind of attach, the reflex is to block like that, but actually here white can wedge, because after Atari, black can connect this way, white links under, and it's absolutely fine. The stone on the right side is still dead, and if black goes down, white will cut. If black turns, white can go down and kill everything, or Hane. So it's very difficult for black to leave in the corner. This is the L formation. The idea here is that when black pushes this way, you're not going to give the stone, just pull back and connect. So this formation, it's already dead as it is. So back to the original game. Well, this lost a couple of points. It's not such a big deal. And instead of connecting with a tiger mouth or a double tiger mouth, it's okay to connect solid against the double Atari. This leaves less cartridge. Anyway, black can push here, go down and so on. But playing this move, which looks artistic, leaves so many more threats, like Atari inside. All those Ataris can be used as code threads later on. So solid connection in this case. Here you don't need to attach and crosscut. It's good enough to play the slide. Also, it's an option to jump and give up the 2 stones in order to keep Sente and then play another big point. But already, the game is very good for white, taking all the territory on the right side. For a wall that's not really functioning, it's absolutely fine. Now, black could punish by playing Atari this way, then connect. White will cover to take a stone and stay alive, for example like this, but black already punished white for attacking this stone and actually break most of the moya by giving up 1 stone. This is a better way for black to punish. So black missed this opportunity to fight the crosscut in a better way. And this way, black got the 2 stones, but white is very thick on the bottom side. So it's similar to what would happen if white, for example, plays a slide, then let's say black sacrifices 1 stone like this, then captures the 2 stones. So white still keeps the bottom, the important part, but gives up only 2 stones and a couple of extra territory points surrounding area. Anyway, good for white locally, but it could have been worse. And now white is center, very good, kick. Usually on this kick it's okay to go up, because it will build a lot on the left side. Even if black jumps in the top, how far can he jump? If he jumps here, you can still extend too. If he jumps like this, it's a bit too far. White can jump in because it's strong, or white can play just a 2-space jump, give up the territory in the top, and expand the middle. So even if your opponent takes these points, you go for a big box in the center, it's absolutely fine. It's actually even better than the actual game. Because in the actual game, black really got a lot of territory on the left side. So white extends, black extends, that's fine. This Nobi, it's not small, but the Nobi on the left side is bigger. So when Atari, you can ignore, but you can also defend. And black's territory is not going to increase that much. On the Hane, white should actually go down, because going down, it's nice distance from C11 and it's also threatening a jump. So when black blocks, then you have Hane, he might double Hane, Atari, then extend. He will probably go for this stone, Atari from the outside, connect or take, then expand the moya. Also, the end game is good to play Hane and connect in center like this. Go down here, same thing. So the left side becomes very big compared to simply pullback. After the pullback, you can only turn, but the Hane is not going to be centered B7. I mean, Hane block connect. Oh, black invades. That's a bit too much. Black should play a move like this, threatening the evasion. If white defends, then a peep. White connects, push 1 time, no B, push again, and then expand the center. This is dangerous. White can just cap. If black comes out, you push him into the wall. Another cap and he's dead. So it's trapped inside and there is no way to connect underneath and no way out either. So this will just die inside. So playing the attach was a little bit risky, because now instead of cut, white should go up. This is the move that black wants to threaten the connection underneath, but white can separate this way, and when black connects here, white has the Keima to keep everything surrounded in a net. So it's just dead. If black tries this cut, white can just connect underneath with the monkey jump, so no problems here. The group is dead inside. Now this way, black can link under. Instead of this connection, which it's obviously a move to prevent the g5 cut, it's better to play a peep. Black will connect, and then you have Hane connect. Black needs to capture the stone. Then you can play this Atari and the tiger mouth, threatening a call. So black will defend here, and then jump in the middle. Because if black cuts like this, you can Atari, 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 and catch everything. This is a net. If he plays here, Atari and Atari from behind. So lots of interesting ways to defend, but peep, it's always good because you make your opponent get this farmer head formation, which is, or the soldier set, which is generally a heavy or a bad shape. So yeah, black didn't want to fight a core. This was good. Come inside and ruin white's wall. It's actually much better to play a peep and another peep, and then some moves like this, because even if the wall jumps out, you can play forcey moves towards the top, so the entire group looks like a running dragon. So this is where white could actually profit more. But white's position is good enough, so just taking 2 stones, it's already fine. This cut works. Black is trying some ladder breaker, it seems like. Here is good to push once. In fact, this empty triangle wasn't even so great. You can just leave the position like this and come into the center. If he goes Atari here, the position is fine. If he pushes, you can connect underneath. Because once you turn, it's an empty, and then you gotta come back here to protect against the push and cut. But you should do it with this push. And if he blocks, you can leave the position like that. And maybe just catch these stones. After this turn, it's okay to play a Tsuke. And then a 1-space jump threatening the 2 stones in the middle. But it's still good to push here. Shouldn't lose that tail. Yeah, that was quite expensive. But now, it's okay to play the Hane and connect in center. And then a 1-space jump. Can be dangerous on the left side. So the way black or white played in the center was a little bit questionable. But white was so much ahead that it didn't matter. Okay, this is big. That's not so important at this stage. Something in the top would be nice around here to separate the top side from the middle. It's strange, black goes down. Black should go up. If he plays a Gote move, he should play the Gote move that can give him some extra. Because now when white plays away, black can turn, threatening to save the 2 stones, then capture 1 guy. But if he goes down, white can cover with a bamboo, threatening the capture. So black will probably play this one or an empty. But if this happens, white can cut inside in order to create a Kotret, then Atari. So everything is centered for white. If black doesn't do anything, white will Hane and just capture 2 stones. So the bump, it's absolutely fine to punish his descent, but black should go up. This is the way to defend, because in this position, white wants to play here and catch a stone. Well, on the left side, white has to pay attention not to get murdered. Nice minus to go down like that. Black should push first and then use the descent, but this descent, it's always a Kotret. Not necessary to be wasted now. This was totally minus. That's good. I shape. Here black could catch the 2 stones. And then there's a ko. So when white connects, Atari from behind. Hane. But it's hopeless anyway for black. White way ahead. This ko is very big. Because after white wins the ko, black has to protect. So here, Atari wants, take the ko, play a Kotret, Hane, block, connect, take back the ko, black defends, white connects here and keep fighting the ko for a while. So Hane on the first line, which could be played as a Kotret instead. And now another nice catch in the middle. Yeah, taking the 3 stones is very big. Yeah, very good cover. Oh, Black was dying. Atari, Atari. No, actually black can escape here, but he's losing these guys. Ouch, that's expensive. To make life like that painful. It's bigger to connect here. Let's see, Atari connect, push, defend, cut, Atari, and it's just a ladder. Boom. But yeah, safety first. Instead of Atari, white could play here. Now when black plays this move, well, it's the same thing actually. And if you play Atari, he takes, you pull back, and then it's Kote. So Sente. Oh no. Here you should block this way to make an extra point. But it's such a pity not to play R7 in Sente earlier. Yeah, that's very big. But not easy to win the Ko because of the Ko threats on the right side. Yep. And it's finished. Uh-oh. Why this move? This is also not necessary. So if white plays, for example, Hane and connecting Gote, when black goes here, you just capture. When black goes here, you capture. And if he plays here, you take. When he tries any other moves inside, like this one, to create a Ko, you just Atari. If he connects, you don't have to play anything. Because he can't approach from the inside. Also from the outside, he has very few liberties. So this is not necessary. That's fine. This is not necessary either. Let's say we take a neutral point. It goes Atari, connect. Then what? If he plays here, you don't care. If he plays here, again, you can ignore. So yeah, there were a few minus or defenses just to keep it safe and clean, but you shouldn't. Just make the effort and read out a couple of moves, and it's good for the moral to be able not to answer inside. Anyway, overall, a very good game for white. So enjoy the review.